Hey guys, welcome back to another episode 4 now. So last video we saw Zane and his favorite thing to do, and so today in this video I'm going to show you my favorite thing to do, and it is photography. I'm going to show you my whole process of what I do as a photographer, basically what my day in the life as a photographer looks like, and I hope you guys enjoy the process. So a couple of things first I wanted to say about this video before we actually begin the whole process is that because of stay-at-home orders, it is very difficult to go to a studio and do things the way I usually do them. Right now I'm actually limited to my studio being my living room, which is actually very small, so it is going to be a little bit difficult, but I believe in me. Another thing about this is that because I can't really go out and get models or have models come into my studio, I have to use what I have around me, and that means using family members as models. You'll see that pretty soon in a couple of minutes. Look forward to it. Anyways, now the first step in my process is planning. Planning is super important, and that's not only in photography, at least for me. That applies to everything I do, whether that's an upcoming project I want to do, or my day-to-day routine, or whether that's tasks I have to do during work. I always have like a to-do list to plan things out before I get started on my day. So, you know, things like that. With planning, what I usually do as a photographer is I sketch things out. So I have a sketchbook that I always make my sketches in for photography. In addition to that, I also like to plan out the lighting setup I need to have, or the props I want to use, and things like that. So yeah, let's get to it. I'm going to show you the very first step in my process and what it's like in a day as a photographer. Let's get it. Okay, so let's get started on the planning part. I have a whole bunch of books here that I use for planning. I use this for taking notes of any new things I learned, any new tools, stuff like that. This book here is actually a very important book of mine. It's my journal book. I mean, not necessarily a journal. It's actually more of a compilation of important events and memories that have happened in my life that I want to remember. Sketchbook number 1 that I'm not really using at the moment. Travel journal I haven't really used. Inspiration book. This is my current sketchbook that we will be using. It is very ugly. The cover of it is very ugly. I don't even want to show you the back. So, you know, quick sketches like so. Yep. Sketchbook number 3, which was given to me by an old co-worker. Thank you very much, by the way, Sarah. You are a real one. Hope you're doing well in whatever you're doing right now. This is my songbook, which I write lyrics and stuff in, although I haven't really touched this in a while. Maybe I will soon. So yes, I present to you ugly notebook that I use to make sketches. Oh, I showed you the back. So let's dive into making those sketches. I have finished my sketches, and we are going to try to make these visions come to life. Let's get it! Okay guys, so the next part in the process is setting up the equipment. setting this up, I'm realizing that because we are limited to a small space, not everything is going to fit. I originally wanted this setup to be this way, but because my stands are actually quite big, we're going to have to compromise and move it this way. Hey guys, so we're gonna start shooting now. I usually shoot with the camera I'm actually taping on, so I actually rented a different camera. It's the Nikon D7500, and then the new lighting equipment that I actually haven't used before is the speed light that I will be testing out today. And yeah, so let's get to it. Hey guys, so we just finished the shooting of this whole process thanks to my mother here, my mom. Yes, she is a great model. And did you enjoy taking these pictures? Yeah,
I enjoy it. Thank you.
Of course, mom. Of course, mom. So shooting with the speedlight was pretty interesting. Honestly, it's not like one of my favorite things. One thing that was pretty cool that I did learn though is that I need to use colored gels, but I didn't have colored gels. So me thinking on the spot, what I used was colored tissue paper, and that actually really came in handy. And you'll see the results later on in a few minutes when I do editing. Now on the topic of editing, that is the next step in our process. So yes, I'm going to show you my editing process now. And with the editing process, I'm not going to show you every single little detail just because it is going to take a really long time. It'd probably take up hours of the video if I showed you everything. So I'm just going to go over everything briefly. Okay, so the program I mainly use for editing photos is Lightroom. If I need to do any heavy editing in terms of totally reconstructing the image or taking things out, putting things in, I'd use Photoshop. In this case, we're not going to use Photoshop just because I don't want to do any of that. So one quick thing I wanted to share with you guys is in this photo here, we see her holding this card, and basically it is a color checker, and this helps with your white balancing to make sure your colors show up how they should show up. Okay, so the first thing I do when I edit is always go through the lens profile correction. Next, I would crop the image to the desired look. Afterwards, I go through basic corrections such as exposure, contrast, highlights, shadows, whites and blacks. Afterwards, I work with the color correction and color grading. I use basically all of the tools here, so the tone curves, the hue, saturation, and luminance bars, as well as the color wheels. I look at things like texture, clarity, sharpening, and noise. Then I go deeper into the details, so I use the spot removal and the adjustment brush. This is only for smaller things. If it goes into bigger reconstruction, then I use Photoshop, as I mentioned earlier. But then after that, it's pretty much it. It depends on the image, but I may or may not use vignetting. But that's pretty much it for the editing process. Now let's take a look at the final images. Once again, thank you so much to my mom for modeling for this shoot. Maybe, who knows, you guys will see her in future videos. I hope you guys liked this video. I hope you guys liked how the images turned out. Leave a comment, give this video a like, subscribe to our channel, and I hope to see you guys again soon.
Thanks!